Hey there everyone, Vish here, back again with another video, and in this video we're going to take a little bit of a different approach. Now whenever we are learning about programming or maybe building any stuff, we usually think about the topics as these are the problem, this is how we are going to get solution. For example, in the arrays, we cannot store multiple values in variables, so we use arrays. In order to loop through the values, we use loops. But there are some examples which are business case logics, and there is no problem or solution kind of approach in them. These are general cautionary stuff that you should know about it, and I'll walk you through with some of the documentation and some of the use case example. We'll be referencing directly from the documentation so that in case you need further information, you can refer to these documentations. So without a further ado, let's go ahead and get started with that. So we'll start with the TypeScript documentation directly from here. And here, if you closely look at this, we have almost covered a lot here. In fact, almost all chunk has been covered, the basics every day. But there is also one thing known as narrowing. This is marked here because there's a key important difference, and this is something which is useful quite a lot. If you click on this, now this is where you try to narrow down what kind of type or data type you are having in your variable. For example, it could be number, it could be string, there could be a lot more. The problem actually comes up is finding out the type of the variable. So let me just go ahead and show you by clicking on the inspect. And it's not a problem for TypeScript. It's actually a classic JavaScript issues. And yes, even on their website also, sometimes these stuffs happen. So no worries. So if I go ahead and use this type of, and I just go ahead and say I want a type of 1, I know that this is a number. If I go ahead and use a string, I go ahead and it simply shows me that this is a string. The problem actually comes up when you try to give it an array. So if I go ahead and give it an array of numbers, it gives me an object, which can be a little bit troublesome and problematic in that matter of case. Now, also, you'll notice that this type of is actually challenging in programming. If you go ahead and use the empty string, then also it gives you a string. But again, the literal null values are also objects. So yes, there is a little bit trick involved in the JavaScript. And this is not something which is problem. This is something that is the behavior of JavaScript, and you should be aware of it. And why we are talking about this so much up here? Let me show you with a code example that will actually make much more sense. So in the detection.ts, we are going to be learning about some of the cases where you might want to be extra cautious, and that's the whole video is all about. So let's just go ahead and say, hey, this is my function. I'm going to go ahead and say detect types, and type would be great. And I'm saying that the value comes up. Now this value could be a number or it could be a string. Now based on this, if I go ahead and say, hey, I want to return the val dot to lowercase, I'm not allowed to do so because right now there is no mechanism to 100% guarantee that this is an actual string where I can use this method. This could be any right now because it could be a number, it could be a string. So right now the val is in kind of a state where it could be anything. But again, we can go ahead and write cases. In fact, we have learned about these cases that I can go ahead and use the statement that if the type of val is actually a number, then I can go ahead, or maybe let's just say we are going to go ahead and stick with the same example. If it is a string, then I can go ahead and say val dot to lowercase. So this is the value I want to use. In this case, there is no problem. The problem actually starts to come that you have checked the type, and you have also checked, you have said that, hey, this is going to return, let's just say val dot value of, there is not too much of the number. So, but I can go ahead and say a plus 3. So this is also totally valid. So right now cannot be applied to a string because if it is here, it should be number. But still, this is saying that, hey, we haven't checked it, so probably want to check it out. We have to make a similar case, and we can go ahead and say return. And then we can go ahead and say, if this comes up here, we can go ahead and say val plus 3. This should be all good. Now it is returning, so it will reach to this point of code only and only the case when it is 100% sure it is number. But there could be more things. There could be more things. You have checked for this one. But what about the case where it could be a number array? So that is where the problem actually comes to start. So I'll just not do it here. But this is not something where you have to keep on checking for each one of them. You have to be very cautious in writing the business case that there could be a number of arrays, but we cannot go ahead and check that as an array. We have to check that as an object. So this is the most important case. Now there is also a similar case. I'll just create another function. And again, these are all cautionary tales. So make sure you pay attention on the caution, not what could be the solution. There could be a lot of business solution. So for example, this is a common case where we say provide ID. Provide ID. Why are you having issues? Implementation is missing. Okay, no problem. Where somebody gives you an ID and that ID is a type of string. And we go ahead and write the definition and we go ahead and say that if the ID is there or not. So this is a common example where we want to find certain elements from the database and maybe there is no ID being provided in that method. So in that case, this could be a string, but this could also be a null. And again, this is a cautionary tale. So this is something that you might be doing quite a lot of time in your regular code. So you can go ahead and say if there is no ID, that means it is null. So in that case, we can go ahead and say something like a console log that says, please provide ID. And we can go ahead and return the method here. And if this is all good, then we can go ahead and say that, hey, we did some classic database operation. And after that, we are returning ID with 2 lowercase or something like that. You get the idea that how this is being done. Now, this is something not magical, and this is not something which is related to TypeScript. This is a simple code that you have been writing quite a lot in JavaScript, but this is a code which is appreciated and even being highly considered that you should be writing, because here, this could be null and this could be string. The reason for showing this is just like you're considering this as a null and you get extra cautious, similar to here, you should be extra cautious about the data type that is multiple in the format. So make sure you treat null as anything like as a string or a number and you provide extra cautious here. Now there's one great example in the documentation. Let me show you that. So where is that example? And let me go ahead. Yeah, here it is. So notice here, they give you a lot of similar example that it could be string and numbers and whatnot, and you could also use the type of and all these things. The thing which will catch your attention is, notice they call this typef as a type guard. So yes, another fancy name for interviews, but it is nothing more than that. If you'll read the entire documentation, which I have gone through line by line, this is all they are saying. Just use the type of for making an extra guard about what type of variable is coming up. Instead of calling it as type of, they call it as type guard. Another fancy name, nothing more than that. So this is all what they have. Now they also provide this one example here, which you should also attention. And this is all same JavaScript in case you have watched my videos. These are truthy values and falsy values. They are not literal false, but they produce the result. Now there is this example here. I would like to actually borrow this example and we'll show you that. So we'll copy this and we'll study this example. This is something really interesting. Everybody should pay attention to this one. So don't do this. Yes, we are aware of that. Now notice here, let's understand this example. So it says print all, where strings could be a string array, and could be null also. So 3 cases are there, and we are checking that if the strings are there, that means it is not null. That means, yeah, obviously. So this case is being taken care of. And if the type of the string is an object, when we just saw that array also results into as a type of object. So, okay, that part is also covered and we're looping through it. So no big deal. Else, if the type is just as a general string, then we just console log it. And you might be saying, yeah, that's okay. We have covered for the string. We have covered for the string as an array, and we have covered for the null. That's great. But what is the case that we haven't covered is an empty string. An empty string is a little bit cautionary thing. Notice here, this is the empty string, and these are truthy and falsy values. So this is exactly what they're mentioning here, that the strings is truthy. This at least prevents us from the dread errors like this. But we haven't covered all the cases. We haven't covered where the cases are that when the value is nothing. And this is not gonna break our code, but this is kind of a business case where you should be covering the case if the string value is totally empty. So this is all they want to show you in the documentation. Again, reading and understanding from the documentation could be a little bit boring, but this is what is going to make your foundation absolutely amazing in the world of TypeScript. There's a little bit more to this narrowing, and there is nothing much like too much you haven't seen anything. This is just a general discussion in which I think you should take part in it, but in case this sounds boring to you, welcome to the programming and reading from the documentation. So that's it for this video. Let's catch up in the next one.